Meantime, 8 days until the election, we're taking a look at some of the key voter issues around the country. In Erie County, Pennsylvania, it, of course, is all about jobs, and that's where we find our Brian Sullivan this morning. Hey, Brian.
Hey, Carl, it certainly is. Listen, voters everywhere in America are passionate about whatever it is they're passionate about. But here in Erie County, one of the most important counties in one of the most important states for the run to the White House, really the issue, and maybe the only issue, is jobs. And the question is, will Donald Trump's pro-America manufacturing first message, which flipped thousands of blue-collar, blue voters over to him, will that still resonate, or will Biden be able to get those guys back? It's all about places like this, guys. This is coking coal, and this is Erie Coke. Erie Coke, this plant was opened up in 1833. Last December, about 100 workers came to work. The gates were locked, and they were told, no more jobs, we're shutting it down. After years of environmental pollution, they had fines, they shut it off. Also, cheap Chinese manufacturing of steel. The stuff, these rocks that I was just holding up, that goes into iron ore furnaces to help make steel. So if there's no steel, there's no coke, there's no job. Now, from a climate change perspective, you could say that's a good story. Big polluter here, numerous fines over years. But if you're one of the hundreds of people that lost their jobs, what you're thinking of is, where am I going to go now, guys? And so when we talk about these key counties like Erie County, it comes down, believe it or not, to places like Erie Coke, where the only jobs that are here right now are the people that are coming in to literally, like ants, tear apart parts of this factory. They're buying scrap metal, they're buying some of this coal, they're buying some of the old machinery here. Erie County was won by Trump by just 2%. Obama won it by 17% in 2012. The key is going to be which candidate can speak to that person. 300 jobs at Wabtec lost last week. 100 jobs here lost. And by the way, there are no new manufacturing jobs for these workers to go to. The question is going to be which candidate speaks to them the most. China, guys, is a huge issue. This morning, getting ready, turned on the local news. There's an ad. It was a Trump ad, and it ended with Joe Biden shaking hands with Chinese President Xi Jinping, basically tying Biden to China, because people here think China, manufacturing, loss of jobs, no way to make a living in Erie County. It's going to be one of the key issues coming up in 8 days.
Brian, as somebody who follows the energy industry as closely as you do as well, I know you're you're talking steel, but you obviously have also dealt with the decline of coal as an electricity generating fuel in this country as well, which is also not coming back because the market is speaking.
That's right. The market, and you're right. You're exactly right, David. The market has done that to coal. Let's be honest, and coal is on its way out. Although I will say China's making more new coal factories now are being built in China than I think exist in the world, or something like this. Anywho, there is a huge energy part of this story as well, because when you talk about this type of rock, you're making steel. Well, why does that matter? Well, what is steel used in? It's used in pipelines. And Pennsylvania is the #2 producer of natural gas in the United States. And so if we talk about reduction in natural gas, we talk about reduction in potentially fracking or federal lands or subsidies, we talk about less demand for pipelines, you might have less demand for steel, which means less demand for this, which means these literally falling apart. I mean, there's trains that are just sitting on the ground over here. I wish I could show you. Our movements are obviously limited, guys, but there is a big part of the energy story here. Natural gas matters a whole lot to the state of Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania matters a whole lot to the election in that race to 270.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.